Yes friends, as part of this session, let us discuss about some of the conflicts or some of the confusing or the most miscellaneous things which we bring or we get to our brain as part of our interface variables and interface methods. Okay, what is that? What is that? Conflicts, getting conflicts of interface variables, getting interface variables. After this, let us go for methods. Okay, first observe here the first thing we have discussed and we have even seen one practical example for these variables. What is that? Interface variables by default public, static, final, and we must perform initialization to those variables at the time of declaration. Getting? We have seen event reason static, final. Getting? So what is the reason? Static, final means we have to perform initialization at the time of declaration, otherwise within the static block, but static block represents implementation, getting a type of method which is having no name, so that block is not at all permittable or not a valid block within the interface. Getting? So at the time of declaration itself you have to perform initialization to interface variables. Okay, now so what is that? First one, at the time of declaration itself, okay, we have to provide, okay, we have to provide initialization to interface variables. Getting? Now let us see, this point is well known to us, I hope. Observe here, example is what for this one? Observe here, okay, interface I3. Getting? Now int I, okay, if I give like this, it will give compile time error. Getting? What is that? It will give compile time error. Did I initialize this variable I? No, it will give compile time error as what? As what? Expected, mister. Getting? I'm expecting initialization assignment operator. Getting? So if I do declare in this way as what? Int I, getting, 999. Getting? Now observe here, getting, now it will get compiled successfully. Okay, now this is the proof to give an example for that concept. Okay, now observe here, observe this part. Okay, observe the second part. Can we access interface variable from outside package? Yes, we have seen even what practical example. Getting? Can implementation classes modify the interface variable value? No, they should not modify. Why? It is going to impact other implementation classes. Observe here, what is that? What is that? Observe here, implementation, okay, implementation classes can access the, getting, can access, they can access, friends, okay, they can access. Here access means one thing, we have come across one thing. Access means what? With respect to the variables. Access means with respect to variables. What it is? What it is with respect to the variables? It is just printing. Getting? It is just printing or performing modifications or changing the variable, modifying the variable value. Getting? Variable value. Here here in interface we are having accessing only to print but not performing or modifying the variable values. Observe, okay, we can just print them, we cannot perform any modifications to the value which interface variable are referring. Getting? Now that is not possible. Implementation classes can access the interface variable value but cannot perform any modification. Getting, guys? But not perform any modification. Getting? Now observe here, we all know this one, even we have discussed this one. Let me give example, okay, very well known thing, but here we are having one tricky thing. Observe, okay, now example, okay, observe this one, interface I3. Getting? Int, or let me take string, okay, string, okay, what is that? String s equals to, what is that? Interface. Getting? Interface. Now let me take one of the class as implementation class for this interface, okay, implements I3. Now public static void main string array. Now S is the variable, right? Yes, observe here, S equals to I3. What is this? Reinitializing a value to S, which is a variable within the interface I3. By default, this variable is what? Public static final, right? You cannot perform initialization, reinitialization. Observe here, it will give compile time error to us. Cannot assign value to final variable. Yes, okay, cannot assign value to final variable. Yes, okay, observe here, observe this part, okay, observe this part, okay. Now the tricky thing, first let me show the example to you till here, friends, okay, till here let me show example to you, okay. Observe, let me bring this compile time error, okay, observe, okay, just a minute, okay. Now let me go to, let me take, what is this? Yeah, let me take an interface I3. Getting? Now within this take string s equals to interface, okay. Now class, of course, observe here, observe this part, observe, please observe this part. Now let me take this class as A instead of B, okay. I have some issues at my directory, okay, class A, okay, observe this one, okay. Now let me take that class as what? A. Class A implements I3. Within this one, let me reassign the value as what? I3. It will give compile time error. Observe, let me go to the command prompt. Now observe how to run, how to compile this source code. It is what? Test, okay. Observe here, Java C, tester dot Java. Getting? Observe, okay, cannot assign value to final variable. Yes, why we are getting this compile time error? Because S is the final variable by default within the parent, and because of this implements keyword, this is being as child or child class only. Implementation class means child only, okay. It is inheriting this S variable value from the parent. Okay, this is available to this one. Observe here. Let me comment this. And if I do print this, yes, I can print, no issues. Getting? Observe here. That is what the meaning. Implementation class can access just the printing but not modifications. The interface variable value but not modifications. Okay, observe. Okay, now observe here. Let me print it. Okay, just what is that? System.out.println. Yes. Okay, observe here. You will get interface as the output. Okay, what is the main method? Main method corresponding class A. Okay, Java A. Observe here, interface. Getting, friends? Interface. Okay, now take this one, observe this one carefully. Okay, observe this one carefully. Okay, now observe this one. I want to know scopes. For this one. Okay, I want to know, I just want you guys to have knowledge in scopes. Okay, now observe here. Now static string s equals to null. Okay, now I am going to replace this code. Observe this code. Okay, this code is not there. Okay, this one is not available. Now what I am going to write is the new code here. Okay, new code. Okay, observe that one carefully. S equals to I3 and SOP of what? Yes. Okay, now if I do compile this piece of code, there won't be any compile time error. Simply you will get the answer as what? I3. Hello mister, same name. What is this? To which variable you are assigning the value? Observe this part. Okay, you will get I3 as the output. You will get the output as what? I3, friends. Okay, observe, just a minute. Observe this part. Okay, now let me take static string s equals to null. Okay, null. Now observe here, you will get S3, that is I3 as the answer. Compile, successful compilation, I3. What is this? What's happening internally? Simple thing. Observe here. Here the checking is very important. In which style the JVM is checking for this variable? Yes. In which way it is checking? Observe here the scopes. First, the checking will be done within the block where you are accessing. Within the block, that block can be a method or a constructor. Getting? Or static or instance blocks. Getting? Static or instance blocks. Getting? First this one, later it go for class level area. It go for class level area. Okay, block level area. Getting? If it is not available at class level, this is what? Block. It has went for the class level here. Okay, now if it is not available, it will go for inheritance. It will go and check at parent level area. Getting? At parent level area. Now we are having s within this class which is not final. You are assigning the value to this yes only, but not the value of yes. Parent. Yes, you are assigning the value to yes which is specific to this class A. Getting? But not the value which is referred or which is specific to I3, which is containing interface. Getting? It is containing at currently null has been removed. It is being as what? I3. Getting, guys? You are performing the modifications to this variable which is A class 1, which is not final, but this one is what? A final one. Final means what? assigning is not possible, getting, and here it is checking the class, this class related yes variable, getting. Yes mister, you have proved, but let me know this variable is still available to this implementation class. Okay, let us check how to access that one. By default they are what? By default they are public static final at a dot class file, what is this? Interface i3, that will be as what? Public static final int I equals to 99. Okay, public static final. Now how to access that one? Use the interface name to access this variable. Now observe SOP of i3 dot yes. Okay, now here you will get the output as what? You will get the output as what? Here i3, here interface, getting, that will be the output. Why? Because of checking scopes. This is what our checking scopes, getting, this is what our checking scopes, checking areas, getting. This was the internal implementation to JVM to resolve the variable yes. Okay, it is also a step-by-step process, getting, step-by-step procedure only, getting. You should not go directly to parent. No, they have followed some implementations internally, Sun Microsystem, getting. So this is the way. Now let me compile and let us see the output for this one. Simple thing. Observe, just a minute. Okay. Now how to access that one? System dot out dot, what is that? i3 dot yes. Okay, i3 dot yes guys. Okay, now let me compile this one and let me run this one. So what should be the output? i3 interface. Okay, i3 interface. Observe this one perfectly. Okay, now this is one small trick as part of our variables. Okay, we are resolving the conflicts, and to access the interface variable, exactly what you have to do? You have to use interface name. Why? By default they are public static final. Observe here, I have said to you earlier itself, interface is having n number of advantages. Based on your requirement, you have to use the variable, you have to use the variables methods according to the requirement. Okay, now this is what our interface variables. Now if this is the case, means if I do access this particular interface variable, okay, this implementation class not at all changing this variable value. Okay, it is just changing its own variable value. It's a class level scope or class level area variable, but not parent related variable. Okay, now if I do write a code like what? Class B implements what is that? i3. Okay, public static void main. Okay, now if I do access SOP of yes, nothing, no error, no compile time error, you will get the output as what? Interface. Why? Because this code is not at all changing this i3 interface variable. It is changing only the variable value. So, I mean that variable is specific to this class A but not related to this i3 interface, which is parent. Okay, observe, this is what our interface variables. What we have discussed, one thing, at the time of declaration only you have to perform initialization. Okay, it is must, and by default they are what? public static final. And other one is, what is that? Implementation classes can access the variable value. Here accessing means what? Just printing. You should not perform any modifications, any arithmetic operations are not possible. Getting? You cannot modify, you cannot reassign. Getting? You cannot do anything, just printing, just accessing. Why this accessing only? That to printing only means in order to not impact other implementation classes, we can access, that is, we can only print the variable value. Getting? Now observe here. Okay, other one is what? If implementation class is having interface variable name exactly within its class, that is, it is having a variable. Okay, this implementation class having one variable and interface also having a variable, such that both the names are same. Getting? Both the names are same. Okay, how to resolve that one? How to resolve that one? By using interface name. Okay, by using interface name. By default they are static, that's why we can access that interface variable just printing by using what? Interface name. Okay, this is what our interface variable conflicts. Okay, than this nothing in this interface variables. Okay, and now observe here. Okay, now observe this part. Let us go for conflicts of interface methods. Okay, what is that? Conflicts of what? Interface variables. Just a minute, observe here. Okay, now I just want only one thing from you guys. You are all aware of these things. Okay, just I'm going to make you highlight the tricky things. Than that, if you do watch these things once, if you go through these things once, I'm sure that you can have very good idea, and you will not forget all of these things at least for 2 or 3 years. Okay, so that it will be in your brain. Okay, and if you want to get knowledge about this, if you just refresh, that's it, more than enough. Okay, now observe here. By default all the methods within interface are what? Within the interface are what, guys? They are abstract methods, and they are having access modifier as what? Public. Okay, what is that? They are having access modifier as what? Public. Getting? They are having access modifier as what? Public. Okay, they are having access modifier as what? Public. Okay, now observe this part carefully, my friends. Okay, by default they are what? A public and abstract. Who is giving that public and abstract thing to the methods of interface? Observe here. What is that? By default they are public and abstract, whether programmer declare or don't declare. Observe here example. Okay, now interface, getting? Interface I4. Okay, now void M9 method. Okay, M9 method, and if this one is saved with a name as i4.java, and if I do compile this one at compilation, this code will modify, that is this method will replace by the compiler in this way as what? Interface I4. Okay, public abstract, other one void M9 method. Okay, void M9 method. Okay, now observe this part. Okay, who is writing these two things? Our compiler. Why they want to do these things? To give some extra features, getting some extra functionalities to the methods of our interface, friends. Methods of our interface. Okay, now observe here, this is the code within our i4 dot class file, i4 dot class file. Okay, now observe here. Okay, by default they are public and abstract. Till here we all comfort. Okay, now